This is chapter 10D and 10D squared about cube roots and square roots. In this chapter, we're going to talk about what a square number is and square roots and cube numbers versus cube roots. So here's some key essential vocabulary that you need to know. First, what does it mean to square a number? Basically, if you have a number and you square it, the little 2 in the corner indicates to square a number. And to square a number, it simply means to take the huge number right there, what you see, 3, and to write it down twice in regards to multiplication. So 3 squared is the same as saying 3 times 3, which makes 9. 4 squared makes 4 times 4, which makes 16. So that's what it means to square a number. Now, a square number is a result of squaring a number. So 9 is a square number, 16 is a square number. For example, 25 is a square number because it's 5 times 5. 36 is a square number because it's the result of 6 times 6. You can even think of 144 as a square number because it is a result of 12 times 12. Now, a square root, often you'll see, is represented by this symbol right here, and then a number on the insides. For example, we can write 36. So to find the square root of 36, you simply have to think, well, what number squared makes 36? Well, it's 6, because 36 is a result of 6 squared. So therefore, the answer to the square root of 36 is 6. So the square root is always represented by that symbol. Now, to cube a number simply means to take a number and put a tiny 3 in the corner. Because if you think about a cube, it's a 3-dimensional shape. So that's why we can think of it as a 3D. A square is a 2-dimensional shape. So therefore it's a 2, right? So 1 cubed means multiply 1 by itself 3 times, which just makes 1. That's what cube means. A cube number is the result of a number cubed. And a cube root is the same thing as a square root, but rather than seeing it as just a square root sign, you'll see a little 3 in the corner on the outside of it, which indicates that's a cube root. And we'll talk more about it in the next examples. So here we go. Now that we understand what squares and square roots are, let's go ahead and let's practice a few problems. So 4 squared, just to remind you, is 4 times 4, giving you an answer of 16. And to find the square root of 36, that's a result of 6 squared, so the answer to the square root of 36 is just 6. So at this time, pause. So 7 squared makes 49 because it is 7 times 7. 9 squared is 81 because it is 9 times 9. The square root of 144 is 12 because it is the result of 12 times 12. And the square root of 121 is 11. The square root of 100 is 10 because 10 times 10 makes 100. Now in this example, we talk about working with square roots of numbers that are not perfect integers. Integers are usually numbers that have no decimal in it. Now, they could be negative and positive. In these cases, they have a decimal in it. So we want to estimate approximately what is the square root of these numbers here. So between which 2 consecutive integers, meaning back to back, do each of these square roots lie? So for example, 34. I know that of all the numbers in a sequence, 36 is a square number. I also know that 49 is a square number. I also know that 25 is a square number. Now, 34 is somewhere right here. So I have to ask myself, well, then what numbers does it lie between? Well, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 36 is 6, so therefore the answer for 34, the square root of 34, has to be a number between 5 to 6. So therefore the answer for A is that the answer has to be between 5 and 6. So we're not working precisely with the decimal yet. So at this time, go ahead and pause and try to do the remaining. So 21. I know that 4 times 4 makes 16. I know that 5 times 5 makes 25. So the square root of 21 has to be somewhere in the middle. So therefore, the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. Therefore, the answer for the square root of 21 has to be between 4 and 5. Now for C, the square root of 53 has to be between 7 and 8 because 7 times 7 is 49 and 8 times 8 is 64. For 113, the square root of 113 has to be between 10 and 11 because 10 times 10 is 100 and 11 times 11 is 121. Now in this problem, we need to use trial and improvement, or otherwise known as guess and check, to find the square root of each of these numbers to one decimal place. So in the previous slide, we actually did work these out. We figured out that the square root of 34 had to be between 5 and 6. We knew that the square root of 21 had to be between 4 and 5. And we knew that the answer of 53 had to be between 6 and 7. Wait, sorry, my correction. Let me correct that. My mistake. Should be between 7 and 8. So that means now we need to try to find a number that would give us an answer close to 34 with a decimal. So if I did 5.1 squared, that will give me 26.01. Okay, I think that's a little bit too far. Since I want the square root of 34, it seems like it's closer to 6. So maybe I'll try 5.7 squared. And if I do that, I'll end up with 32.49. Or since it's to one decimal place, 32.5. It's getting closer, but I need to go a bit higher since it's 34. So maybe I'll try 5.8. So I really only have a few choices before I get to 6, right? So 5.8 squared is going to give me 33.64 or 0.7. If I do 5.9 squared, it's going to give me 34.8. So I would say that the square root of 34 is approximately 34.8, is approximately 5.9 because it gives us 34.8. So at this time, go ahead and pause and try to figure out B and C. Now in B, if you work with 4.5 squared, it will give you 20.3. If you did 4.6 squared, it'll give you 21.1. So the square root of 21 is approximately 4.6. In C, if you work with 7.2, you'll get approximately 51.8. If you work with 7.3 squared, you'll get 53.3. So we can say that the square root of 53 is approximately 7.3. Now, cube numbers are basically the same thing, but now it's just cubed. So as a reminder, 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which makes 8. And the cube root of 1 is, well, again, finding what number do you multiply 2 itself 3 times to make 1? Well, the cube when there's actually something missing on these cube roots, the little 3 in the corner. So the cube root of 1 should be 1. At the same time, now at this time, go ahead and pause and complete the remaining problems. 3 cubed should give you 27 because it's 3 times 3 times 3. 4 cubed should be 64 because it's 4 times 4 times 4. The cube root of 125 is 5. The cube root of 216 is 6. And the cube root of 1000, and this is really easy. If you notice any of these numbers with 3 zeros in it and they're asking for a cube root, just think, what is the cube root of 1? Well, it's 1, and then just take one of those zeros. So the cube root of 1000 is 10. So now in this problem, again, it's using trial and improvement, just like we did in the previous ones with square roots. But this time you need to try to get your numbers to 2 decimal places. So go ahead and give it a shot. So what I would do with 9 is I know that 2 cubed makes 8. And I know that 3 cubed makes 27. I see that this 9 is closer to the 2, so therefore I might use numbers like 2.11 or 2.23 and try to find myself a cube number close to the cube root of 9. So pause. So for A, the cube root should be approximately 2.08. For B, the cube root is approximately 4.06. For C, your cube root should be approximately 1.44. And that's all.